What up? Yanni, what's going on? Just out here, trying to make it. How you been? Pretty funny. I wrote this a while ago. I haven't really checked in on it. But if we can break through, I'd expect to challenge this DTL on the 50-week moving average. Look at that shit. Right up to it. That was said back here. If we could actually break back into the COVID uptrend. And yeah, hit it and slap. This question is still the question. There's not really a better place to put it, but that's still the question right now on the standard market. And we're just kind of fucking around here in crypto. Because if we zoom out, this is the uptrend from the COVID lows, right? I guess I have to make that a little bit smaller if I'm going to zoom out. Probably not that small. And so we got this like multi-week breakdown below that uptrend, and we've recaptured it. And yesterday, we saw this rinse below, and here we are. I mean, look, you can see. You think they don't see this line? You think they don't know that they're exactly on the uptrend line? Come on. So this is pretty interesting to me. This is also looking at my other charts. I mean, it's a logical pullback point as it relates to Bollinger Bands. So like, there's one of these things, one of these rules, one of these TA rules that I think is worth knowing about. I don't know if I've talked about it. I'm sure I have in the past, but anytime you have these like compressing angles, so you have the uptrend, the compression from the uptrend, and then this from the downtrend, you really needed to move a break up or a break down before you hit the apex. Because this is what happens if you make it all the way to the apex, okay? You just range. Forever. And it doesn't feel to me like we're in that range area. Like we're in a place to just range for a year. So I would expect you're going to see a move one way or the other here shortly. I pulled this up because December 14th, next Fed day. So let's do what we do. That's right there. It's always worth putting a vertical line on days where there's going to be volatility. And we're pretty damn close. So everybody has assumed that they're not going to do 75 basis points. So the assumption now, well, let me pull this up. Previous 4 forecast 4.5. So if you notice, by the way, I'm sure you guys all have this by now, but if you don't, bookmark that. Coin Shark, what's good? How you doing, fam? If you don't have that, bookmark it, because you can see what the consensus and the forecasts are, right? So previous 4 forecast 4.5. That's 50 basis points. The forecast is 50 basis points right now, not 75. So now you know what to look for. Like, you always see like Tree of Alpha and like DG and those people come out and say, you know, expected, actual, and like what they're going off of. As simple as that. And a lot of times, like Tree of Alpha on Twitter will say, if we get above 50 basis points or less, I'm bullish. 75 basis points or higher, I'm bearish. Like, fine. But I don't think we're far away from that. Now, the question is this: if it's 50 basis points, is that bullish or is it just not bearish? Okay. You see what I'm saying? Like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It can just be like a neutral move. We're definitely going to see volatility, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to break higher or lower. So much is going to be dependent on what he says afterward. I saw another article today, or another headline today, that was, I think Wells Fargo laying off like 2,000 people or something like that. So like the layoffs are happening. How much pain is needed? I don't know. Okay, so you look at this. Here's my alpha for the day, because there's not a whole lot of you on watching right now. So this will reward people that actually go back and watch this later, because I have tremendous alpha I'm about to share. Which makes me think that we have a chance to be nearly done. Look where we are. This is a flip level retest. There's a UTL going back, actually even further than that, actually goes back to 2017, on how Bitcoin performs against the S&P 500. And we are putting in a divergence long signal on top of this previous resistance flip to support. Now you go, well, what do I do with that information? It doesn't mean we can't move. Like, if the S&P moves down, then we're going to move down with it. I just would expect this to be the level where you are going to see people, like big money, become interested again. Because look at this. We have since last year's high against the S&P, we have underperformed the S&P by 70%. That's absurd. And then look at what we just came from. When you saw the breakout of this level that we're talking about, we outperformed the S&P, which was going crazy at the time. The S&P was going crazy. We outperformed it by almost 300%. And people look at this. You think this is just some metric that I pull up? It is not. Okay. I just share it with you. This is a metric that people look at. And it's becoming a time where, like, you and I look at this, and if you're a retail trader, you look at this area and say to yourself, yeah, you know what? I want to make sure I catch this. I bottom tick this. I want to get the best entry possible for me. But if you are an institution, if you're someone who plays with real money, like, you cannot think that way. All right. You have to think about it like, okay, if I can get anywhere in here, I'm happy. And so they're going to look for other indicators to start acquiring those positions. And I think they will. So you have like these target areas, because think about the upside. Like if you're messing around with tens of millions of dollars, do you really give a shit if you miss by, here, let's go to a lower time frame. Like the top to bottom here versus the S&P, like 11%. You're not playing this for that, right? You're not. Same deal here. I actually wish this had gone lower, because you're starting to see these levels be respected a little bit more. Because here's the thing, guys, and I try not to be like Doomsayer Jared, but if this does break down, if this ratio breaks down, I mean, we're going to be in an absolute free fall. You will see us lose 65% against the S&P on Ethereum. And I don't think that's going to happen, because I think at this point, like, Ethereum is Ethereum. Ethereum has its own admirers. There are other people that are just like not into it. They only want Bitcoin, which is fine. I don't really care. But like, Bitcoin is at serious support, and Ethereum is showing relative strength. Like, you can just see that people had an awakening with Ethereum here. And so they're not really like, I would be absolutely floored to see Ethereum drop further. Bap, what's good, my dude? Good to see you, man. So I like this area a lot for Bitcoin against the S&P. So like, what does that mean? Well, we started off the show by talking about this. Okay. Brian D says, do you think the ETH relative strength against Bitcoin is just new reality? Yeah, you know, I do. I'm going to get to the ETH BTC chart here in a second, because you see it ebbs and flows. But I was looking at the weekly chart of ETH BTC earlier, and I don't think we ever surrender this high base that we've developed over the past couple years. I don't think that ever goes away. The only way that goes away, Brian, is if there is some major issue, like some major issue with Ethereum. Corpoke, I believe for 50% that we have the worst behind us. I don't know what you mean for 50%, but all right. Anyway, what I was saying was, these are ratios against the S&P 500, and I'm using ES just because it's what I trade. So like, both these look good for a multitude of reasons on why Ethereum should hold, and certainly why Bitcoin should hold. Like, this is a divergence long signal we're currently in right now on Bitcoin versus the S&P 500, which is great. But like, technically it's sitting on top of this, which was mega resistance for a while. I mean, you see here, we broke out, and they're trying to hold this level. Not to mention, you have this uptrend line that actually goes back even further than there. So it goes back a long way. There's a lot of reason why, if you're long, if you think Bitcoin is viable long term, which I think most of us do. Like, there's a lot of reasons why this needs to hold. Okay, a lot of reasons why this needs to hold. So I really like where Bitcoin is versus the S&P, and I like where Ethereum is versus the S&P, and that's really good. However, if this rejects, I'll go to the daily here. We started off talking about this. If this rejects and doesn't hold, there. So if this rejects and we fall back down through the UTL, I promise you we're going to 33.82. We're at 39, okay? That's 20%. That's 20% down. So it is very, very possible. If the S&P drops 20%, Bitcoin and Ethereum drop 20% too. I just think they're going to maintain the ratio against the S&P 500 from here. Maybe slightly outperform. And that's really what you want to see, guys. Like, we talk about putting yourself in the best situation to succeed. Like, it has not been profitable to trade Bitcoin over the S&P 500 since, 13 months ago. It's been a losing proposition for 13 months. You'd have been better selling the top on Bitcoin and just dollar cost averaging into the S&P over the last 13 months, and you'd be up vastly over just holding Bitcoin. So it has not been worth it for a while. And we want to see some strength versus the S&P. It's one of those indicators that I talk about all the time. You can't just say, "Oh, I like this area, I'm going to buy it." Like, yeah, that's fine if you're comfortable where we are. Link Marines subscribed again. Thank you. Appreciate you. Subscribe to Go to the Prime and subscriber for 8 months. You're my dude. He also said no Santa rally. Okay, so Link Marines is in saying, I don't believe there's a Santa rally coming. You want to expand on that, Link? Javier says, Shitcoin Friday? Yeah, we talk about shitcoins now if you want. I'll get back in on Friday too. Maybe we bring in a taxi on Friday. We do it then. But if you see this drop, Zoop, what's good, my guy? Crab Santa? Yeah, that's probably right. If you see us get this 20% drop, all right, 15% from where we are now, then $14,000. Yep. Actually, technically, that'd be from the bottom. So hold on. Yeah, the 13,000 everybody calls for. So yeah, I mean that ends up making a lot of sense at that point. That's while maintaining the ratio. While maintaining the ratio. So, you know. And that would make sense here too. Break down 15% off the bottom. Yeah. 3-digit shitcoin. So it is. What I was talking about a moment ago to Brian's question, is ETH relative strength to Bitcoin just the new norm? I think it is, in so much as I just don't see this changing. Okay, like, think of how tumultuous this shit has been, and you still have Ethereum at the top of the range, I guess you can call it. Yanni votes for one last drop. I mean, we might get it. I just don't think we're going to get it versus the S&P. I think we are purely tied to risk assets now. Like, there's nobody speculating heavily on Bitcoin at this moment. I mean, look at this stream. Dude, we got like 20 people in it right now. Like, we used to have 70. Okay, people have left. There's nobody degenning this shit. So I don't ever really anticipate this low on Ethereum. to ever break down. I could see us going down here and screwing around down here, but I don't see it, man. I just do not see it. So you kind of know your ranges here. You know, Corpoke, it did last time, dude. Like, I had buys at 1,000 last time. I bought more at 12. Like, it did last time and will again. I think it's a value area for Ethereum because, like, yeah. So Brian D says, I agree. I feel like the pre-merge low might hold for a long time. But so again, like, we're talking about the ratio here of BTC, right? And that would be whatever this. It's been as bad as it possibly can be in crypto, right? Like, Sam Bankman-Fried turned out to be a huge fucking fraud, which not shocking. Given what's come out, it's not shocking. I've been thinking about this, and I'm going to bring it up on the next time that the next time that we do a podcast. I'm going to bring this up because the manner in which Sam did what he did, I think the more I think about this, I think it's very easy to say that he essentially took a bunch of like slightly better than meme coins, controlled the circulating supply, manipulated that value, and then was able, a good enough salesperson to convince people that wasn't bullshit. But anybody who was in crypto would know, like, that's fucking bullshit. Like we used to talk about it before. And to me, it feels like you remember in our chat room, like, we were all in on Apex at one time and NCAT way back when. I mean, it essentially ends up being like, dude had a couple meme coins that he manipulated the prices on and would maintain certain thresholds with his cash to be able to show a net worth for his companies, to be able to take real loans against them. And that's all he really did. Like, he didn't do anything different. Any one of us could have done that. Because it's not hard to do. Like, if I really wanted to right now, I could launch a shitcoin, say with 1 billion tokens. And release 100,000 of them. And keep the other, 999,900,000. Pump the 100,000 I put out to some asinine price, because I hold all supply. And then go to a bank and be like, look, this is worth 100 million in the circulating supply. I have 1,000 times that. So I'm worth $10 billion, or whatever it is. Give me a loan for $1 billion. I'll hold this as collateral. Like, that's what he did. It's unbelievable. It's unfucking believable. Ugh, man. Anyway, my point in even bringing that up is it got as bad as it possibly could be because dude just ended up being a big, he's just a big scam artist. Fine. We're all rededicating to doing things on chain. And amidst all of that, look how well Ethereum has performed. Okay. Here's May. This is May. May with Luna. Handled it. Recovered. Now, all this shit with Sam. There's Sam right here. It's still holding towards top of the range. Like, What is the scenario that breaks this down from here? Short of like, you know, Ethereum's network straight up going down. Like, what possibly takes Ethereum down versus Bitcoin right now? And Dan, you're right. He got his whole first nut from arbitrage and gaming the system, never stopped. Yeah. But like, everybody was arbitraging back in the day. He just found a better way to do it, right? He was buying on one exchange, selling on another. Good for him. A lot of people did that. But dude, I'm telling you right now, I could release tokens and make it look like on paper I'm worth $1 billion right now. If I wanted to. You all could too. And then go to a bank and be like, look, I hold these tokens. Here's how many I have. Give me a loan for $10 million. And if they were dumb enough, they would do it. That's what Sam did. That's what he did. It's unreal. It wasn't until I saw like Forbes released like how he was sending them his net worth, and they were like, I mean, I guess, and they were only giving him like 60% credit. It's pretty wild. Like this bullshit. Look at this. I mean, it's not trading anymore, but like, okay, so you know he was pumping this. He held all of supply. Here's them getting rinsed and selling to get themselves out of Luna. And then it all came to a head. It's pretty wild. Really, it's impressively fraudulent. Impressively fraudulent. So there is a path for me to sub $14,000 Bitcoin. I would just encourage you to keep an eye on these ratios, okay? Is BNB also a scam? Absolutely. 100%. I have it on here somewhere. BNB is absolutely a scam, dude. It's absolutely a scam. They're running the exact same playbook that Sam did. What the difference is, he actually built an ecosystem. It does. Dude, no joke. I've told the story. I spent thousands of BNB down here at $40 to do dumb shit. Because I was like, there's no way this thing ever goes up. Dude, and then I went to $700. Get the fuck out of here. Okay? So... What CZ did that was different than Sam was he actually built an ecosystem. So now you have the Binance scam chain, and a bunch of other activities that lend some credibility to BNB, but like this is partially propped up because they burn so much of supply as often as they do. And they've been able to build enough network activity to make money. So like they don't make a lot of money. They don't really make much at all, but it's enough of a hedge for them that they need it to survive. So I would be absolutely floored. Is BNB a centralized smart chain? Yeah. So no. Well, so Binance Smart Chain, the token you need to use is BNB, just like you need to use ETH on the Ethereum network. But it's completely controlled by CZ. So there's like 11 validators and he controls all of them. So like there's no decentralization at all. It masquerades as decentralization. It's like decentralization light. All right. It's like what Aptos is trying to be, but Aptos is doing a worse job of it, right? Aptos is trying to do like we're going to control everything. You got to trust us. We'll help you create accounts. We'll help you do like I forgot my password chain. And CZ went a different route where it's like, it's going to look, act, and feel just like Ethereum, but we control all the validators. So if something goes wrong, we're just going to pause the chain. They've gotten hacked like a half dozen times for like $500 million. And every time they just kind of pause it and roll it back and start over again. So if you go into it thinking like this is not a decentralized chain, this is just an area where like CZ wants to have activity, and so he throws in incentives, and he has more money than God, because he just kind of prints it out of thin air, and he is the prevailing exchange now around the world, like already was and certainly is now. So like he has a ton of reasons to prop this up, and I think he has the money to make it work. But make no mistake, yeah, he just implemented a single point of failure solution, right? Yeah, pretty much. So, you know, I like Binance Smart Chain, dude. I was one of the first ones on Binance Smart Chain. You guys all know that. And I'm not saying that to be like, hey, look at me. It was just like, hey, it's like Ethereum, but it doesn't cost me $20 to transact. It cost me 46 cents. And then later on, you know, Ethereum went to be $100 to transact, and Binance Smart Chain went to $5. But like, you know, it's going, I think it'll persist. I don't think he's certainly not as dumb as Sam. I don't know. Let's talk about this. This was in fact pretty great. That breakdown rejection, if you guys remember. But has he also manipulated the supply on B to make investments? I don't know, man. I think he has like X amount of money every year that he's going to pump in, and just make it look really viable to attract people. So the incentives are there that he's incentivizing projects to build on BNB. And so is he manipulating? Yeah, he absolutely is. But like, my question is, do you care? And so the point is, if you're going to get involved on Binance Scam Chain, like, you go in with the understanding that like you are playing with fire. And so you don't put your whole nut there. You go and try to play and get in and get out, because things could fall apart, right? That's not dissimilar from anything else. You ever bought an NFT, dude? You ever buy an NFT? You ever click buy on an expensive NFT? You need to like mentally have accepted that's gone to zero before you ever buy it. You may get 100x. It's probably going to zero though. So that's how I would look at the money on Binance Scam Chain. All right. So if you remember, this was a month ago. This rejected and fell back down, and I wrote, yeah, it's pretty great. It was in fact pretty great. Yeah, it's zero, dude. It's going to fucking zero. So yeah, this breakdown is exactly what you want to see in the dollar. The problem is now we're getting back to areas where it makes sense for this thing to start moving sideways again. Okay. And you're already starting to kind of see it. So not great, because we're kind of back down to support. You have the support from the previous resistance we broke through at 103. And so that's not great. What I'm curious about, no joke, is, as we said, this is our line in the sand for the next Fed meeting, the 14th. Let's put it here too. There you go. I'll be very curious to see what happens on that day, because the forecast now, essentially, the consensus forecast is 50 bips, 50 basis points. It's not 75. So a lot of you weren't on when I said this earlier, but like, it's not, is 50 basis points bullish, or is it just not bearish? Okay. Like, and I don't think we're going to know based on their decision, because I think it's pretty clear they're going to do 50, which is fine. But what he says after that isn't going to be as important. It's going to be equally as important. So given that we're near support right now, what happens? Is it one of those deals where like he comes out and he's like, yeah, 50 basis points, and you know, we expect to stay in this area? or maybe go down and we see an actual breakdown. Because remember what he said last week when he had his little talk was, we believe our terminal rates will have to be higher next year than we originally anticipated. That means they're going to have to hike longer or more aggressively than they originally thought from the November meeting. Yeah. So, if you think the terminal rate's going to have to be higher, do you just say, all right, so we've gotten ourselves pretty close. We're at 4% now. We think we need to get to, we thought it was 5, maybe now it's 6. But we're going to do it slower. 50 basis points we think is going to be our move moving forward. 50 until we get to our terminal rate, and then we stop. And then we see what stopping does. And if things continue going down, then you see a rate cut. All right. So like there's a lot of weird variables here, but the fact that his talk last week was, we think we're going to have to go higher. I don't know, man. You know, is that it? I don't know, but there's not enough for me to say, yeah, like I feel great that this is going to be the outcome. And so it's hard to really have like a strong position heading into that talk. You can see the orange dotted line, put it on your charts. So every time you open up your chart, you go, oh shit, I only got 5 days. 5 trading days. Yeah, pretty much. There's been a lot of indicators that have come out that like this is the time where a lot of people start to deploy capital, or they have to deploy X amount of their capital per their charters. So there's like you're seeing moves into value like Boeing and GE and shit like that have had relative strength because these guys have to be deployed. They can't just sit in cash, which is funny. So they have to do something with it, and so they are. But you know. I think we need to see more pain. But like I said earlier, and you guys weren't really here for it. Oh, Crypto Dale, what up? What's up, Dale? Good to see you, my brother. Thank you for the sub. Subscribe for 7 months, dude. Can you believe that? 7 months. Zed. Oh my God. Yes, 39.20 double bottom, push to 42.60, 43.05 after FOMC next week. Then recession, new lows, 3,300, 3,400 by next spring, just a guess. Dude, if that happened, oh my God. It's such a weird time right now. It is such a weird time right now. Because you have so many people that cannot afford for this thing to completely take a shit. Like you just, ugh. Jim Cramer said no recession. Okay, then we're absolutely getting depression, recession. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Link staking is open. It appears nobody cared. That's tough. I mean, it looks like Coinbase is putting in a low. If you fancy like a cheeky long option play, as soon as you see like some sort of move positive in this ratio right here, then where are they? Come back here, bitch. Then buy some long dated 155 calls in coin. It's a play because it's pretty bad in there right now. But apparently ARK's in on it again. That Metis fell apart. Doge with some good relative strength, man. He's not in here, but dude that tweets me a lot on Twitter said, do you think there's now a future for Litecoin as a proof of work chain? It's just a copy of Bitcoin. Have I been rebuying my supply of Doge? I have not yet, no. Dude, honestly, like I have not spent a ton of time thinking about Litecoin. Has anybody ever in here ever gone down the rabbit hole on Litecoin on why it's even worth looking at? I haven't. I'll say this though. This is supremely bearish. Narrator, it's not. Okay, fair enough. Litecoin does what it's supposed to do. All right, well, what the fuck am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at their market cap. Market cap, yikes. That's not what I was going for, but yeah, I mean, it's the same concept, just not there. So yeah, like this is supremely bearish. It's me. Check me out. Ah, yeah. In fact, this is actually a pretty solid short. Yeah, no joke. I would short Litecoin. If you think we're going down, Litecoin's a great short right now. I mean, there's a million reasons why this should go down from here. So, Litecoin, for when the Bitcoin network is busy and you need to process transactions sooner rather than later. Yeah, so literally, I mean, this is a buy the book short on a weekly chart. It made a lot more. Okay, so Matt has a good thing here. It made a lot more sense with unregulated crypto exchanges back in the day. Easy enough to transfer over Bitcoin to Litecoin to process a withdraw or send a TX because less usage. Honestly, like a Bitcoin TX transaction fee arbitrage. I mean, all right, fair enough, right? It's supposed to be a lighter client, be quicker. It's just essentially a sped up version of Bitcoin, right? So yeah. Yeah. It's in the name, right? It's lighter. Good shit. Yeah, so like no joke, I'm not really into shorting right now. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4 weekly reasons to short Litecoin right now. Usually if you get one weekly signal, it's enough. And like the target is not crazy. I mean, all right, so what are we at right now? 76. So yeah, $30 short. I think it's a pretty easy short. The failure to launch on Chili's is really disappointing. Like, it's supposed to be their moment, man. I thought they'd do more. This chart actually looks really good. FXS has a ton of reasons to be bearish long term or bullish long term. I also bought some of this the other day just for the laughs. I honestly, here's the thing, guys. I bought this knowing very little about it. Chili's is the World Cup, like the soccer token. Like they have like the Barcelona token and the Juventus token and all that kind of stuff. And they had like a bunch of partnerships with like, real dudes. So into the World Cup, that was their moment, man. And like they had some good volatility, but whatever. I bought this the other day. Honest to God, dude, I claimed my airdrop. And I was like, what is this? And I was like, okay, it's the liquid staking token on Cosmos. Interesting. I like liquid staking. It's better than having your shit tied up forever. Cool. And I looked and it was on this day. I bought on this day. So I think I bought like right here, like 35, 36 cents. Because I was like, oh man, this came off the bottom pretty well. I just, took like a couple hundred. Let me buy $2,000 worth. So I did. And now it's right here. I don't know what this token's intended to do. But if you look at the chart, it's rounding up off the bottom. So I have not done any research into it. Honest to God, guys, I just had money sitting in Osmo and I was like, whatever. So I bought it and it's gone up, 40% since I bought it, 50% since I bought it. But I'm curious to see what they're planning on doing with the liquid staking token. I don't know if that juices your returns and they're actually having like utility for this. How likely is that Elon will rework Twitter to run on the Internet of All Things? Yeah, I think he will. I think his goal is to eventually make it very decentralized. I think that he's going to make it. No, dude, I think he's going to incorporate Doge. I think Doge has a long-term future with Twitter. I think he's going to make it. I think he's going to make it a decentralized news organization that people can comment on. So I would expect that. Yeah, well, it's not great, but let's try. The best thing they have going for them is their supply decreased. Their their rewards decreased. They need to come out with something new, man. I really want to see support come in here. Because if not, it's going under $1. And that'll be not great. That's where I would buy more, to be honest with you. We get to the point where this thing gets under $1.50, $1.40, $1.30, $1.20, I'd buy more. Yeah, so Brian D just said, since you pulled up the chart, there's a DEX launching on Juno called Wind in the next month or so. Think it will be decent. It should help Juno because Juno Swap sucks. My understanding is that Juno Swap is going away. And that's okay. I think they're going to redirect the funds that they had allocated for Juno into the developer fund to create more shit. Because at the end of the day, guys, like I like Juno. Obviously, you guys know I've been all over Juno for a long time. I don't trade on Juno Swap. I send to where there's the greatest amount of liquidity. It's just what I do. Yeah, it's not even on here. But yeah, so Window is by Ethan. Ethan is like the godfather of Cosmosm. Yeah, I covered ETH to start everything. So like right away, I went over the S&P, Bitcoin, ETH, all that kind of stuff. I don't have a ton of time left, or else I'd go over it again. We'll see if we do. But Window, yeah. So it's Ethan's project, who is like, you know, the godfather of interchain smart contracts. And he's building it on Juno. Had a lot to do with it. You know, if you look at who's selling Juno right now, it's just all the validators. So the validators are selling their yield monthly. So the validators are the ones who are crushing price on Juno. And there's just not enough interest right now to justify holding, I guess, for them. So it's not good to see. They got to pay their bills, but at the same time, it's not a good look. So they need the interchain smart contracts to come, like, to actually start, to show, to prove something. If that happens, Juno snaps back in a real way. I believe it will, but, you know, this is a long-term play for me anyway, so it is what it is. I don't believe there's any liquidity pools on Win yet, Dan. Yeah. Well, on Doge Chain, who really cares? Like, all he has to do is find a way or find a reason for people to use Doge on Twitter, and they'll love him again. So whatever. It's like pretty popular. It's pretty trendy to hate Elon right now, but I don't know, man. I like him. Crude going down. That's good for everybody. This is the nut shot. So Juno has just lost all relative strength versus Atom. Really want that ratio to hold. All right. Anything you guys want me to look at? I'm happy to, if you would like. Dude, this is like the third time you've asked me about Nintendo. I don't know what to tell you, man. Yeah, GMX remains probably one of the best things out there. No joke. I could see GMX, like GMX on Arbitrum in the liquidity pool. I think is the best play in crypto if you don't want to pay attention right now. Dad, look, this is what it's done while everybody else been dipping. This was it. The SAM breakdown was it. Look at that. It's doubled off the SAM news. Doubled off the SAM news. Solana to me is dead, by the way. I'm not touching Solana ever again. I would need to see a lot of information on how Sam will never be able to liquidate his stake, and then I'll be back in. Bro, Javier, that was it, dude. That was it. That was it. I wish if I had seen it, I'd have done it. Because, like, literally the GLP on Arbitrum is the best move in crypto. What does that mean for Sol NFTs though? Not great, man. Not great. Hopefully they migrate. Hopefully they migrate to Ethereum, or they try to do something else, because there's just too much baggage in holding Solana. It's just not worth it, guys. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. You got to wade into that though, X. Like, you got to really just like, you know, I want it at 20%. Let me get it for 20% of what I want to buy, and let me monitor it. If it goes down, whatever. You know, like, yeah, I think, honest to God, dude, GMX looks like something that you should just always have an eye on. If it comes into big support, which, let me see if I can pull it up here. I'll tell you what, you don't want to miss that breakout. Anywhere back down near $45, $40, it's a buy. I would also, if you see this thing break out, buy it. That's my advice to you. Did we get through my playlist? Oh, dude, sad. Try some new stuff. Yeah, so that's what I would do. But the thing is, dude, like, if you're getting into GMX or just like putting money into GLP, you shouldn't really care, because up or down doesn't really matter. You're going to be earning yield. You're also going to be, you know, essentially dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, like, you know, whatever. It's a long play. Look, I don't talk to Messi a lot anymore. Thank you. But I was like, yeah, man, best tokenomics you've ever seen on any project ever. And he's like, GMX, hands down, GMX. The best Ponzi-nomics, tokenomics that he's ever seen. And that's saying something, dude. That dude looks at thousands of tokens. There's a ton of spotlight on decentralized trading exchanges now. That's what they are. On Arbitrum, no less. A lot of dudes may have made a ton of fucking money just by being liquidity providers. So, like, you know, man. Like, now, when I look at new tokenomics now, I compare against GMX. And I'm like, there's no reason for people to hold this fucking token. No, I'm not buying it. You either got to make money or you got to have Ponzi-nomics like GMX. Speaking of making money, this is my last thing that we're going to sign off. What a shit show this has been, huh? How about Sushi being like, if you guys don't redirect all rewards to us, we're going away. Like, what? If you don't redirect all of your rewards to the team, we can't pay for our expenses, and we're going away. Bro, have less expenses. Like, your product isn't that good. I'll tell you this, though. If they do go away, buy Uni. If Sushi ends up going away, you should definitely buy Uni. Is Crow gonna die? Yeah, so I saw a buddy sent this to me earlier today. I don't know how to find it, but I will try. I mean, we got, oh, Jesus Christ. A buddy sent this to me earlier today about betting. There are betting lines now on the next exchange to die. And Crow was the betting leader. So a lot of people think it's going to die. If you have anything on crypto.com, if you have any Crow, I would get the fuck out. I'd get out. I mean, I don't think anybody's really that dumb to like hold shit there, but you never know. Yeah, it's literally the number one bet. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Who the fuck sent that to me? Oh, I got it. Next crypto exchange to file for bankruptcy. Crypto.com plus 200 odds. eToro plus 275. KuCoin plus 350. Bitfinex plus 400. Gemini plus 550. Robinhood plus 900. That's pretty funny. Binance US plus 1200. Kraken plus 1500. Binance plus 2000. Coinbase plus 2500. So, yeah. Literally the worst odds, the betting favorite to go under next, Crow. Crypto.com. Yeah, dude. Should die for the terrible name. It was S. Joseph Burns on Twitter. Here. He tweeted it. Baby's doing great. Baby's a month old as of a couple days ago. Baby's doing great. Sleeping a little better. She's huge. Thank you for asking. Yeah. Is he? I don't even know who he is. But it was interesting. But yeah, no, baby's doing great. We're all starting to sleep a little more. Thank God. It's been a pretty tiring month. And, literally my kid was born and then Sam exposed himself for being a fucking fraud. So it's been a very not profitable month for me. As I'm sure it is for a lot of you. So yeah, this should be on everybody's watch list. I don't see much else worth owning right now. All right, kids, I'm gonna get out of here. Good chatting as always. If there's anything else you want to talk about here, say, do, whatever, let me know. Happy to talk about it. Price action class coming along. That'll be rolling out soon.
5 to the 4 to the 3, 2, 1.
Word. Yeah, take care, fellas. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, thanks for popping in, guys. This is fun. We'll get back into it more frequently. December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. Forgot. Later, guys.